great to have you here today. Thank you, everybody. We are here to celebrate that the pandemic continues to be lifting, that there are ebbs and flows of that, spikes and peaks, but we are a strong, vibrant downtown, and we want people to come back. And here's what I mean by that. We have incredible restaurants, lots of workplaces, lots of parking. We are a built environment that is ready to be animated with people more fully returning to work. We are open. We are excited to be the place that people come back to. I will tell you, working just a couple of blocks up here, how much it means to come into the office, how much I love walking through the Skywalk, supporting local restaurants, talking about what we're doing to support your health, your safety, and our downtown community. So you're going to hear from a few of us today on different aspects of that. It's important to me that you know that downtown is a really vibrant and important part of our community. The work we do with the Greater Downtown Council through the Clean and Safe team, in partnership with businesses and with the Duluth Police Department and our City Council, it really matters and it really makes a difference. You will hear from City Councilor Randorf, but as you may know, she and Council President Eric Forsman, who's also here, wrote an op-ed in addition this past week to the Duluth News Tribune, talking about some of the remedies around which we can ensure that the Skywalk is open and safe and used really, really regularly. So we have some ideas on how we can help spread a great message around our downtown. And some of them for me include, I know working from home is an important thing to be able to provide as an employer. I know that it's nice to be able to have some of that flexibility, especially as we're making sure we are in good health and trying to keep our work teams healthy. If you are working home part-time and working in the office downtown part-time, think about increasing your days, the number of days. When you are working downtown, please go to some of our amazing restaurants, whether that's a place like Valentini's in the Skywalk for lunch, or any of the other places, Dublin's or Pizza Luce, afterwards to have a drink and meet a friend. It makes a difference to our downtown businesses to see your faces, to know that we are supporting them, and to know that together we believe in the vibrancy of our downtown. There are good things happening and even more good things to come, and we just wanted to remind people that this is your neighborhood, and it's a neighborhood that is important to all of us, and it requires all of us to be able to continue to support these businesses and make sure that, as we're seeing in other downtowns, whether it's across the state or across the country, that we are doing all that we can to help stabilize the businesses that have worked incredibly hard to make it through this pandemic, and now we get the chance to continue to support them. So with that, the first speaker you will hear from is Kristi Stokes with the Greater Downtown Council. Kristi.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, good afternoon, everyone. You know, I was reflecting back this morning because yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and thinking about 2 years ago, how things changed in our world. And I think back to getting the announcement of the state closing down, and on St. Patrick's Day, packing up all of my belongings in my office, and then heading down to Dublin's to grab a bite to eat before the day was done and before 5 o'clock hit and everything was shut down. So I think of all the roller coaster that our businesses have been on over the last 2 years. It has been substantial. But then I think about last night or yesterday when we did, as a team from my office, stop by Dublin's. And as we're walking in the door, in walks a family with a couple of little kids. And as we get in the door, there's friends and there's colleagues there, and there's music and there's dance. And it just felt like energy was returning. So for me, this is really to say we have an opportunity right now to set the reset button on our downtown. And I think it's starting to happen. I'm seeing more people in the Skywalk system, so we're seeing that happening, a few more employees coming back. We're hearing from folks looking at some additional targets for returning to the office, so those are exciting things to hear about. But we also have to acknowledge the challenges that we've been facing over the last 2 years, and some of those challenges are what we're seeing in other downtowns across the country. Our downtowns have changed during the pandemic. We have seen office buildings that have become quiet. We have seen when that happens, it feels like things are a little bit more empty, and it feels like it might be unsafe. And so one of our big things is to really ensure that when people are coming back and when they're visiting our downtown, that it does feel safe and that they know things are being done and that businesses know that we hear some of their concerns and that we take them very seriously. When we encourage people to come back, that also means that's an additional set of eyes and ears on our downtown, whether it's in the Skywalk system or on the street. Just like your neighborhoods, it allows you to be looking out for other people. So that's something I would really encourage, is to get more people back in the office because of that. But it also is going to take partnerships. And I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about, especially being here today with the mayor and the police chief and our councilors and others, is to really talk about how can we all work together to ensure that we are committed to our downtown and committed to the safety of our downtown. And so those are some of the things that we're talking about right now. Over the last few months, we've been discussing safety with many of our businesses. The chief has held meetings with us on a regular basis just to discuss some of those things. That's all about bringing more people back. It's how do we build that excitement? How do we make everyone feel good about the downtown? And we appreciate that. From our perspective on the Greater Downtown Council side of things, we have added additional clean and safe team members to the Skywalk for patrols. So we have added about 50 hours a week of Skywalk patrols. Again, to be out there proactively and to also serve as ambassadors in the downtown. Thanks to support from the city, we also added an outreach specialist, and that was just 4 months ago. We added an outreach specialist to our team. And I will say there are already some early successes from that. Renee, who is our outreach specialist, has really focused in on building some of those relationships with individuals who might be suffering from mental illness or chemical dependency issues. And so she's been able to build those relationships, which has also meant a few of our clients have taken the next steps toward treatment. And also, even more importantly, at least 4 individuals have regained stable housing. So those are some exciting success stories for us. And as we look ahead, we're seeing more events happening in our downtown. We're seeing more concerts. We're seeing the theater coming back, conventions. These are all so important for our downtown and to improve the vitality and improve the overall feeling of safeness. So we look forward to that. We continue to work with our partners, and we'll look forward to really hitting this hard with a lot of our partners to say we want the core of our community to be clean and safe and vibrant. And it is now my pleasure to introduce someone that we've been working with very closely for quite some time, a true partner for us, and that is Chief Mike Tusken.
Thank you, Kristi. Hi, my name's Mike Tusken. As you know, I serve as the police chief, but before I go forward, I want to really introduce some people who are the boots on the ground that actually make things happen. A lot of times, of course, as chief, I may drive policy, make policy, but the people actually that do the work are some of them are here. And I'm going to start off with Scott Jenkins. So Scott, he works for Clean and Safe, but Scott's a retired police lieutenant. And so he took his experiences from the DPD and then applied them to really helping our Clean and Safe team be much more of a data-driven environment, much the way that a police department works. So Scott, Patty Whelan is here. Patty is the greatest social worker on the planet, and it's not even close. And so Patty is part of our core unit. And so her job is to do interventions of people suffering from mental health crisis and substance abuse. And so she does a remarkable job helping do that outreach every day with us. Chad Nagorski. Chad was the 7 years, were you 7 years as the downtown area commander. That is the lieutenant who is in charge of all things policing in this district. Chad doesn't work here anymore. So Chad actually, I transferred him to run our task force, our violent crimes task force. So he's outgoing, but the new guy here is Dave Drozowski. Dave's a brand new promoted lieutenant. Dave has had success in every single job he's had in our department. He most recently was the sergeant in charge of our professional standards. Dave did innovative problem solving as a community police officer before his promotion to sergeant. And one of the things that Dave did is he brought community court to our city. And so Dave knows how to do long-term problem solving, and that's one of the reasons why I put him in that place. And then finally, Mike Sanoa. Mike Sanoa has the hardest job on the police department. I know because I had it once. The patrol division deputy chief job is incredibly challenging. So all things, you think of 100,000 calls for service that we have annually. All those calls, the problem solving, long-term problem solving, the innovation it requires to be a proactive, productive 21st century police department, all those things are expectations I have of Mike. You don't get a lot of opportunity to sleep in that job. He knew that, he still took the job. So I just wanted to let you see kind of the faces of the people who are actually behind the scenes doing the work every day. And so as Kristi said and the mayor said, we talk about this vibrant downtown. This is our downtown. So many times people look at law enforcement to solve problems, and this is collectively all of us have to come together to make this a safe place. It is safe. We have doubled down and tripled down on our patrols. You're going to see more police officers than you've seen. Most of that is meeting and greeting. But recognize that our problem solving and our capacity to do problem solving is helped by the people that we have that don't wear uniforms. Part of the reason why Patty's here. We also have a CERT team, that's a substance use response team, that helps people to get help if they're suffering from addiction, if there's people suffering from mental illness. We have tools to help. As Kristi talked about, Renee Graves, who works with Clean and Safe, doing outreach work, all of us, we meet weekly, we collaborate, we talk about people who we have to help get better. True problem solving is about solving the underlying issues. It's not just responding time and time again. So when we see people who are struggling, how do we get them well? How do we get them the services that they need? But this press conference is really to talk about the good things that are going on downtown. We're very excited. We're coming hopefully from pandemic to endemic. We're going to get out of this. This is an opportunity for us to enjoy our downtown, to be out and about. Recognize that the strength of our organization is always the community. The community is our eyes and ears, our force multipliers for us. So if there is issues, by all means, reach out to us. If you're reaching out to the police department, know that we bring a complement of different people and services. It isn't just a police response in a police uniform. We find the right person to help solve the problem. So with that, now batting cleanup here today is Councilor Roz Randorf. She said that she was going to show us all up. So,
awesome. Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Again, I'm the district councilor here for the beautiful downtown district. And I want to first of all say I'm grateful. I'm very grateful because we have a mayor that is invested in the vitality. And we've said that word vitality. That's important to our downtown. I'm also thankful we have a strong advocate for this district in the work that Kristi Stokes does with the GDC, and our Clean and Safe team, Scott, and our outreach worker, you've heard her, Renee Graves. She's doing a fantastic job connecting people to the resources that they need. And I'm also grateful for our new downtown officer, Josh Nealand, and Lieutenant Drozowski, as they respond compassionately to the needs to keep everyone safe. Because, like Chief said, it does take all of us to find solutions to some of our most difficult and complex social issues. And as a community, we believe a compassionate response is not to look away or to let people who are unsheltered stay in the public walkways or in the hillsides without access to sanitation and social services. That's not compassion. And I look to the future as we really explore ways to make this happen. To have conversations with Joel Kilgore at Loaves and Fishes and John Cole at Chum as we explore expanding drop-in services, because people need a place to go. I look to Jill Keppers at HRA as we plan for the creation of additional affordable housing units like Cottage Village and Skyridge Flats and Phase 6 of Harbor Highlands, because people need a place to live. And most importantly, we have a great need, and that is to provide supportive housing for people that have mental health issues and substance abuse disorders. And that means those people that need special assistance and aren't able to access it today. And our traditional housing supports, like vouchers, don't work for this population. And this is really an important distinction, because this is the population we're talking about today. Because if we truly understand this issue, we'll become closer to the solution. And so spring is coming, and we're coming back. And this is about downtown. And we're expecting warmer weather. We're excited to get people downtown, to really beef up our businesses, our customers, welcome our visitors, and really come back full force. Indoor and outdoor dining, our workers coming back and having lunch. The downtown is key to the vitality of our entire city. And I support all efforts to keep it vibrant. Thank you. And now I'll turn it over to Mayor Larson.
Yeah, just a few closing thoughts. So thank you, everybody, for speaking. And of course, we are all here to help take questions. Two things. One is, you will hear more about this in the coming weeks. I have a State of the City address coming up in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about a vision with this community for a continuing vibrant and exciting downtown. And so I'm really looking forward to that. My speech is a little long right now, so I have to cut it down a little bit. And the second thing, I was at a couple of conferences this past week for work, and I was talking with lots of different mayors from around the country, and we were talking about downtowns and our partners and who we have. And to be able to know the partnerships that we have is incredible. There were so many mayors who really, they were afraid for what could be happening with their downtown. They were not rooted with a hope and light about what it is to have a downtown that is bustling, where people are working, that is the center of your community, where theaters are open, where restaurants are open. And it made me so incredibly grateful that this is the vision of who we are. This is how we move forward, and really excited to just remind people that downtown is here. It is open. We are excited. We are ready for you. Come meet with us in the Skywalk, do some laps, get some lunch, see your friends, and most importantly, support these businesses that have been waiting for your return.